Bear with me as I get set up here. Just adjusting my stuff. Still getting used to going live here on YouTube, which is crazy because I never thought that I would do a YouTube live. But here we are, 2021, baby. Just gonna wait for a couple minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes or so, see if anyone jumps on, and here we go. So hope you are all having a great day, whether you're in here now or you watch this later, because that's the beauty of these live videos, that they are saved for a later time. So even if you aren't watching this live, you can go back and watch it. Speaking of which, I did another video recently, a few days ago, another live on how to buy your first property in general. So let's see if I can open this window a little bit more. Yeah, it's not this window, but this shade. Get a little bit more light in here, bright and vibrant. It's Friday. We're having a good day today, busy. I was actually gonna do this live a little bit later. However, I'm not, because my schedule has all of a sudden filled up with stuff to do, which is a good thing. So we love that. And then tomorrow and Sunday, I'm booked straight out, which is very, very good. Love that. Love that. So action breeds productivity, as my good friends over at Tory say. Gonna use that to Sod's credit. He said it first, and then Mike has been using it. So it's definitely true. Definitely love it. So I think I'm gonna get rolling here. I got my little cheat sheet like I did last time, and let's get it rolling. So if you are seeing this for the first time, if you're seeing this channel for the first time, my name is Sean. We're back at it again, and I help people with personal development, with real estate, obviously first and foremost. Very big into the real estate world, all aspects, helping people buy and sell, obviously with investment properties. And I'm very passionate about it, love to do it. So happy to help you in any way that I can. I'm based in the Boston area. I'm just south of Boston, but obviously we service all of Massachusetts. So if you don't know who or what Tory is, we are a brokerage. We are a brokerage focused on customer service. We want to make a lasting relationship. A lot of agencies are more just transactional nowadays. We don't want to do one transaction with you. We want to build a relationship that lasts for a lifetime. I want to, handle your all your real estate needs, not only yours but your kids and your kids' kids. So I hope you take that to heart when I say that. Is that I truly mean that. I want this to be a lifetime relationship. So with that being said, like, share, comment, do all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Tori's channel. Make sure you all go check out their videos. And I'm sure that this or some other format of video will be over on their channel, because we're obviously getting big on the social. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to start this video off by saying, if you didn't watch the first video that I made on buying a property in general, that's going to dive a little bit deeper than I'm diving in here today. So make sure you go back and watch that. It's about a half hour long, which is what I'm planning on doing here. I might get done quicker because I can talk fast sometimes. Might take me longer. Who knows? But I would anticipate that this would be about a half hour. So thank you for your time. Thank you for investing in yourself first before you can invest in property. So yeah, go back, watch that. That'll give you a good baseline on the idea of doing a transaction for real estate. So like I said, go back, watch that video. If you're not looking to buy an investment property, this video probably isn't for you. There'll probably be some valuable information that you can gather here, but I would urge you to go back and watch that other one if you're looking generally for a primary residence. But, and again, sorry, reading my cheat sheet here. But again, if you want to invest in property and you don't think it's possible, I am going to show you here. Sorry, my neighbor's mowing his lawn. Of course, it's the way these things go, right? Um, if you are even on the fence of investing in a property, I strongly encourage you to go and watch the rest of this video, because I am going to give you some strategies that you can use to buy with no or low money down in real estate. So that's a game changer. You may not believe you can get into real estate investing with no money or with not a lot of money. You can. There are ways to do it. So it really takes the excuse out of why you can't invest or why you can't even buy a property, because I'm going to explain to you how you can. So we're going to start this video off on the same foot as the first video, and that's, you're going to have to get in the right frame of mind. It's going to be a competitive market. There's going to be low inventory, so you definitely have to be prepared to make a competitive offer. And again, that doesn't always mean the highest price. That could mean, your terms are better. Maybe the seller wants to close faster and you're the only one who can provide that. So there's other ways around, making a competitive offer without being the highest price. Of course, money talks. Don't get me wrong there, money talks. But there are ways around it. So with that being said, be prepared to go through a lot of properties. Be prepared to analyze a lot of properties. Be prepared to not always win the deal. Or get your offer accepted when I say that. Also, big thing here. Take the emotion out of it. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give you when you're investing in property. You need to remove all emotions when you are looking for an investment property, because there's only one thing that should concern you when you're buying a buy and hold rental property, and that is cash flow. That is how much return are you getting on your investment. That's it. That's all you should be considered. That's all you should be concerned about, because all that other stuff, how nice it looks, and other things like that, just at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. What matters is, are you making money off of it or not? It's like any investment. It's like the stock market. It's like crypto or anything else. You want to know how much money you're getting back at the end of each year or at the end of each month. All that other stuff is just a facade, in my opinion. With that being said, I want you to remove all that emotion. And I say this so wholeheartedly is because learn from my mistake. This was my biggest mistake when I invested in my first property. I got emotional during the deal. I wanted the house. It was in a great area. The house was basically turnkey. I didn't have to do anything to the house. So obviously, new finishes, new appliances, hardwoods, refinished, gleaming. We walk through, we're like, oh my God, this is the one, right? But at the end of the day, the numbers didn't support the amount of cash flow that I was hoping for. The deal ended up working out in my favor, but I should have walked away. I should have walked away when I was negotiating the purchase price. And even though I got it lower than what the ask was at the time, it still, was in my best interest to walk away and to find a different property that I could have bought and, put a lot more money in my pocket at the end of each month. I probably clear a couple $100 a month from that first property, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. That's additional income passively that I'm getting at the end of each month, but it's not a home run deal. Now, with that being said, I learned this lesson. I learned a lot from doing that deal. So if I had to go and do it all over again, would there be things that I changed? Probably. But again, maybe not, because I learned. So I'm going to take that as just a stepping stone. That first property for me was a stepping stone. And that allowed me to buy the second one and do it the way that I was supposed to do it the second time. And it's just going to become a snowball. So with that being said, when you're going out and seeing these places and you buy this first property, it may not be a home run. It may not be the best thing since sliced bread, but as long as it's putting money in your pocket, or you learn an invaluable lesson by going through this process, it's worth it. Trust me. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, especially when that investment, is, a few $100,000, right? It's easy to say, but believe me when I say the lessons that it's going to teach you is invaluable. So make sure that you go in with the emotions removed. All right. So learn from my mistake. All right. So now that you've taken the emotion out of it, I'm going to talk about reading my cheat sheet, obviously. Now that you've taken the emotion out of it, you know, you're going to have to go through all the steps that I talked about in the first video about either getting pre-approved or saving up enough money or, finding some way of financing the property. With that, I'm going to give you a couple caveats right here. So, the ways that you can buy with no or low money down are other people's money, right? Let's say you have a rich uncle who just wants to make an investment. Maybe they can give you the money for the property. Obviously, that's not the most common because not everyone has a rich uncle. I didn't have a rich uncle. So I'll get that one out of the way. But obviously, the most common strategy you can use is buying with an FHA loan. So buying with a first-time homebuyer's loan or a low money down like FHA is the way to go for most people. What this is it's a federally backed housing loan. So you can buy with as little as zero down in some cases. All it does is it allows you home ownership, with not a lot of money in the bank. So you can buy with zero down in some areas. Most commonly, you'll put about 3.5% down. The only stipulation that comes with this is that you must live in the property. Now, every state is different. I know when I bought mine, I only had to live in the unit for 6 months. And after 6 months, I was able to move out and, rent it out completely. So I used that to my benefit and it worked out great. So just talk to me, talk to your agent, talk to your lender about low and no money down options. The only other thing I would say about that would be careful. Just because you get approved for a no or low money down loan doesn't mean you shouldn't have some sort of nest egg or some sort of reserve just in case something happens after you close on the property. So, be wary of that. Be wary of that. So now you're pre-approved, you got your loan, whether it's FHA or it's conventional or your rich uncle gave you a ton of money. Now I'm going to share with you a couple of criterion that I typically use when I'm looking for a property. And it may be different for everyone, but what I typically look for, number one is location. Real estate, right? Location, location, location. Is the neighborhood good? How's the crime? How are the rents? Is it a strong rental market, right? And this is something you're going to have to ask a couple of different experts. Do your own research online, police departments, ask the community. A good resource that you can use are Facebook groups, right? You can kind of go on a town or city's Facebook group, see what the community's like who's the town crier, what are they saying, what's the gossip about the politics in the town, or go on that town's police department or even call the police department. You know what I mean? I obviously cannot, give you anything like that type of information. It's illegal. So, this is all my opinion. Talk to the police department, talk to the community, see what it's like. Also, I would drive it at least 3 times. Once in the morning, once in the midday, and once in the evening. Just get a feel for it. Hang out, go to restaurants in the area, see what it's like. A good way to find out if it's a strong rental market is to use a comparable rental site like Rentometer. No affiliation to Rentometer, but that's what I personally use to see if it's a strong rental market. So let's just say you have, you're looking at a property. It's a duplex. It's got 2 units, obviously a duplex, two bedrooms. What you can do is you can type that address in Rentometer, obviously write down the criteria, 2 bed at this address, in Boston, Massachusetts. You hit analyze, it'll give you within a mile all of the comparable rents to that unit. So you'll get a gauge. You get like the median rent, you'll get top tier rent, and then you get the low end rent. So that'll really allow you to gauge, how much you can get for a unit. And obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's a good idea. It's a general idea that you can get to know if rents are strong, because you're going to want to know this when you're buying, right? You're not going to want to spend all this money on a property and have the rents not justify the purchase price. So that brings me to the second point. Second criteria I look for is obviously the price point, right? What brought me down to where I bought was the barrier to entry. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to get the most bang for my buck, but it's like any kind of investment, right? You want to get the highest return for the least amount of investment that you can. If I was to tell you, oh, you only have to spend $1 today to turn that dollar into $1,000 at the end of the month, wouldn't you do it? Right. It's a low initial investment, high return, and that's what it's all about with any investment, whether that be real estate, again, real estate, stocks, crypto, anything. That's what it's all about. So again, what I look for are the best neighborhoods with the strongest price point to rental market. Again, use Rentometer, find that out, because if you can get great rents at a cheap price of the actual building, you're golden, baby. And number 3, I know some people invest for appreciation, like Saad from my office. He's big on the appreciation, and where he invests right in Boston, in Boston, that's gonna be great for himself in the long run. Especially you got such a strong city like Boston. So what I look for, the third criteria is, especially now after that first one, is there any kind of value add that I can do to this property? Can I refinish the floors? Can I change the floors? Get rid of the carpet? Put hardwoods down, or expose hardwoods? Or can I put laminate to make it look nicer? A tile? Can I add a fresh coat of paint? Can I change the fixtures on the cabinets in the kitchen? Can I update the appliances? What are some simple cosmetic things that I can do to force that appreciation, right? Because if you're investing for appreciation, you're banking on obviously the location and the market going up. Excuse me, I'm just going to put this on DND so that doesn't happen again. What can I do to force that appreciation? Is it, is it something simple? Because when I look to force appreciation, I'm not looking to do anything huge. I don't want to replace a roof. I don't want to do anything structural. I tend to stay away from mechanicals, although in my most recent property that we closed on in November, I did update the electrical. I did fix the plumbing, and I really did force that appreciation. I completely turned it over. I did new coat of paint, new fixtures, new flooring. So obviously it is worth more now than what it was when I bought it for. That's due to the market and for the updates I did. So I've just gained instant equity in that property. It is now worth more than what I paid for it. Even if the market stayed exactly the same from November till now, and I did those updates, it is automatically worth more. So that's the third thing I look for. What are easy value add things that I can do to force that appreciation? Because if I ever get in a pinch and I got to sell it, it should be worth more as long as the market does not crash, which we show no signs of that happening. So just a small little sidebar here. Don't wait. Don't wait to buy. Take advantage of the low interest rates. Buy that property. Allow it to make money for you, because the lower interest rates mean lower monthly payments, which equals higher potential cash flow. It's number 1, baby, cash flow. So let me take a step back here. Obviously, with the updates, another thing it allows you to do, and I missed this till I looked down on my cheater. Um, it allows you, when you update like these cosmetic things like paint, like fixtures, like appliances, nice new floors, it allows you to attract a higher quality of tenant. You get the creme de la creme, baby. You get the best of the best of the tenants in there, and you're golden. Good tenants, they take care of your unit. They usually pay on time, and they're overall better. And I would argue that a vacant unit is better than a unit with a bad tenant, especially with the process of getting a tenant out there, especially up in the Massachusetts area, which is a very tenant-friendly state. It's going to be hard, obviously, if you run into that situation. So you want to attract the highest quality of tenant that you can. And if you have a nice place, it's going to attract a high quality tenant. So moving on. So you may be asking yourself, great, that's what I look for, Sean. Lovely. I'm looking for a neighborhood, good location, looking for, best price point for best rental market. Awesome. And now I'm looking for somewhere where I can force a little bit of appreciation, value add. So you may be asking, how do I quickly analyze these deals? Yeah, this property might look good. It might be a good price point with a good rental market, but how do I quickly decipher, if I should, dive deeper into the numbers? Well, one thing that I use is called the 1% rule. What the 1% rule is it basically states that the purchase price, that the rents of a property should equal 1% of the purchase price. So if you have a rental where the rents in total equal $2,500, that purchase price should be somewhere around $250,000. If obviously, those rents were $3,000 and the purchase price was $250,000, that beats the 1% rule. Now, if they're $1,500, that's well below the 1% rule. This is more of a guideline than an actual rule. You can't live or die by this, especially where the inventory is low. Take it with a grain of salt because there's not going to be a lot of properties on the market that you're going to have to sort through, especially if you're looking for, a certain or particular property in a certain area. There's probably not going to be a ton on the market because inventory is low. So when I say that, it's usually if you have like 10, 15, 20 properties that you got to go through rather quickly. If you use that 1% rule, it's going to quickly determine, all right, that one's not worth looking into. This one's not worth looking into. That one is, and so forth. So use your best judgment. Also, just because a property does not meet the 1% rule does not mean that it is not a good property to pursue. So, meaning the rents could be lower than that 1%, but let's just say you got a killer interest rate and your monthly payments are super, super low, like historically low, it might still cash flow. And the also is true. The other side of that is also true. Just because it beats the 1% rule, just because the rents are $2,600 and the purchase price was $250,000, that doesn't mean that it will cash flow. Maybe that particular city or town has extremely high taxes, which boosts your monthly payments. Maybe you use that 3.5% loan. Now you got PMI, so you got to take that into consideration. So there's a lot of other factors to consider when determining, if a property is going to cash flow or not. And it's something that, again, taking the emotion out of it, don't try to make the numbers work for you. I would actually argue the opposite. Do everything in your power to make the numbers not work. Now, when I say that, you want to obviously find anything that's going to drain from your cash flow. I know investors that are okay with making $100 per door, which is fine if you have, 1,000 units, right? But if you only have 2 units and you're only making $200 per month, at that point, is it worth it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is for the lesson, right? To buy that first property. However, I would argue that we're in this to make some money, to create some financial independence, and really attain some generational wealth. So look for anything that may eat at your cash flow. Run the numbers. I would run the numbers on a property at least 3 times, and then I would get someone involved. Someone like me, someone like an accountant, someone like, a mortgage person, or someone who's just experienced with investing. And here at Tory, all of us have experience either investing ourselves or working with other investors, so we can definitely help facilitate with that. So if you have any property that you want me to take a look at and see if it's worth getting into, or if there's something that you missed, or something that you omitted, or maybe you didn't account for, just let me know. I'm happy to do it no matter what state you live in, because I am happy to help you no matter where you live. As you know, or as you may know or may not know, we're here in Massachusetts, Tory. We're opening up in different markets. We're currently out in California, Bay Area, LA. So if you're out there, we can definitely get you situated for sure. That being said, I think that kind of wraps it up. Run the numbers. Let me just go back to the top here. Get into the right frame of mind. Get ready to be competitive. Take the emotion out of it. And if you're, again, this isn't as in-depth as, the first video was, so make sure you go watch that. That'll really take you through the steps of an actual real estate transaction. Get pre-approved. You can buy with low or no money down. Run the numbers. Have someone else run the numbers. Use that criteria that I use to find a killer property. Because at the end of the day, guys, we're in this to make some money. That's what it's about. We're doing a great thing. We're providing housing for people that need it. But I believe you can have both. You can attain some wealth building assets while helping people have a home, have a nice place to live. So again, here at Tory, there are some criteria you have to meet, but we do cover your closing costs. We do save you money, and we do provide the best service in the industry. And I can say that wholeheartedly. We have a team of dedicated staff that will help you along the entire transaction. And again, we're not here for just one transaction. We want to be your lifetime go-to people in all aspects of real estate, whether it's buying, selling, investing. And we want to be a full service brokerage. When I say that, we got some other great things coming in the pipeline, mortgage, other home advisory needs. I won't dive too deep into that. However, again, we want to build a relationship that lasts for a lifetime and not just one transaction. So whether you have me help you with this or another great Tory agent, make sure you come to us first. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up here. I really appreciate you checking it out. Again, go back and watch the first one. Watch this one. Watch it a couple times. Soak in that information. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. Leave me a comment. Again, make sure you like and share. Help me out with that YouTube algorithm. Go over to Tory, like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff, and it will pay off because we're just going to bring nothing but value here. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this live if you popped in and watched. And I will catch you next time. Signing off.